Today we'll be doing a Q&A, and oh my gosh, y'all gave me some deep questions, so this will be really fun. First, I want to just give a basic introduction of myself. I'm Caitlin, but most people just call me Kate because it's easier for them. I don't mind either way. I'm 19, and obviously a lot of medical issues. I've been doing social media since I was 13. And just started this YouTube 2-ish years ago. Today I'll be taking questions that you guys have asked on my YouTube comments, on my Instagram comments and stories, and putting a name on the screen and answering them. And I will give a disclaimer that a lot of these I will not be saying your username. It will be on the screen, but I will not be personally saying it just because I don't feel like butchering everybody's username because I'm horrible at them. So the first person is Roy, and they actually asked 2 questions, but they're both really good, so we're answering both. First question is, do you think your story could be made into a film about human overcoming? Oh my gosh, I would love that. I think it would probably have to be a 2-part movie series, because every 5 years is just an entire film. The idea of that is super cool, and I would love it if people deemed the story to be worthy enough of being on a production. And the second question is, after your life experiences, which do you think had a major role in your recovery, science, God, or both? Out of the 2, I would definitely say universe. I think that is what carried me past everything. The physical pains and challenges of my life have been the least of my worries. It has always been the mental and emotional struggles of everything. So finding anything that I can hold on to and just kind of use as a path of where I need to go with these issues and how to carry these issues is definitely been one of the biggest helps, and along with my family, of course. So for that question, it'd be universe. And this one's from the Natural Beauty blah, blah, blah username, but you have been a huge support, so I really appreciate you for years. And your question is, what keeps you motivated despite everything you've been through? And I would say my future, but also kind of my past. For the most part, I just think about what I know I will achieve. Thinking about my future children is a huge thing that I think about. Knowing that I'm going to create the life that I want helps me push through the life that I'm in right now. If I keep pushing through, I know I will be rewarded for it. So when I get low in any shape or form, I just remember why I'm doing it, what is waiting for me. But it also comes with my past, and I think of I'm not going to go through all that for nothing. If I quit now, if I fail this, if I had to meet that little me, how would I feel telling her that I couldn't accomplish this, or I was too scared to face this, even if it was something that we always wanted, me and my versions of myself. I don't know if I have the heart to do that to myself. So pretty much just holding myself accountable for things that I want and pushing myself to get there despite where I am. But yeah, future and past have a huge play in that. I really don't want to butcher your name, so I'm not gonna say it, but hi! Your question is, if you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go? And this one's actually a little sad for me now, just because I don't know what my answer is anymore. But my entire life, I was almost a fetus wanting to go here, is New York. I love New York. Well, loved New York before it turned into what it is now. It's all over my room. It's always been a dream place to travel to, and it still is. For my younger self, I will visit New York, but now it's not what it used to be, and I also cannot withstand the cold whatsoever. Outside of that, anywhere warm, anywhere tropical, Hawaii, I don't care. Just need the sunlight, please. And then Steven, who has been, again, huge help and huge support system for like a very long time, so I really appreciate you. And your question, I'm pretty sure was for this video, but I was thinking maybe you'd want to do horror movie reviews, perhaps. I would love to. Some may not know, because I am definitely trying to gradually introduce people to the horror side of me, just because I'm so medical and those don't really collide, like they're very opposite, so I want to gradually introduce that both are going to be a huge play in my content. But like, I literally have books and books of reviews for every horror movie I've ever watched. I've done it since I was a kid. I hyperanalyze every horror movie, and I can ramble on them forever. I think my only concern with that is just the demographic, because I don't know if I have many horror people watching me yet. I'll make sure of it, but at the moment I don't. I think it would be fun to try, especially since if I never do it, then those people will never find me to want to watch my horror side, and it's inevitable. So I definitely should. I just have to find the courage to do it. And then again, can't really pronounce your name, but they asked favorite song, and my favorite song, which most of you probably know because I don't shut up about it, which is The Night We Met by Lord Horan. Oh, I die happy to that song. Absolutely beautiful. This one is definitely going to be a little more talked about because it's covering a little bit more, so brace yourself. Too Crazy for Me. Hi. That's a really good question. And they said, knowing your medical past and present, what would be 3 things you recommend to others in your life? I had to think a lot because there's a lot of things I recommend, but the basic 3 sentences or quotes is, the first one is, everything is temporary. And this is a huge thing for me, and it's one of my biggest helpers. So, everyone's kind of, you only live once type of thing. People say this, but for me, everything is temporary. The bad is temporary, but also the good. So having that in your head constantly, don't freak yourself out with it, but when I'm in these really difficult, even emotional situations, I feel like it's gonna last forever. I feel like the physical pain is gonna last forever. I feel like my shift at work is gonna last forever. And if you can remind yourself that it's temporary, it takes a lot off, a lot of the weight. And when you get out of that situation, to be mindful enough to, 3 hours later when your body finally calms down or you're off your work shift, you take a moment and you're like, oh wait, it's gone. It's over. It was only temporary. And it sounds a lot different than it feels when you actually do it. And I've done this for everything. I did this since I was a kid. If there was a road trip and we would be on a 5-hour drive and I was dreading it, I'd be like, this is temporary. And when we got there to the destination, I'm like, oh, we're already here. Look at that. But if you have that ideology and you use it on the good side, it can make every good experience kind of feel very rushed and very disconnected. You're hanging out with friends and you're like, oh, this is only temporary, the bad is going to come back eventually. And then you kind of, if you do the where you're looking and then look outside of yourself when you're out of that time frame, you're like, wow, I barely got to hang out with them, it went by so fast. So it is something that you really have to find balance with. But if you use it in moderation and for the correct times, it is a huge help. And it makes also everything not feel so scary and heavy. When you're on a job and you're learning something for the first time, if you remind yourself that in a week this could be second nature, it's only temporary that you feel unknown or that you feel scared, and it makes it less heavy. And the second thing is, not everything is as personal as it feels. But reminding yourself that not everything is as personal as it feels can feel very lonely, and you kind of feel like you are pushing away your own emotions, or like gaslighting yourself in a way. Somebody hurts you, someone does something shitty to you, and now you're sad. And then don't just tell yourself, well, it's not actually about you. No, if somebody does something bad to you, they did something bad to you, and all forms should be held accountable. Your emotions are valid. What they did is valid. Like, not okay, but like it's a real thing that happened. And not everything is this personal part of it isn't to remove any human experience. It's to have a different perspective that, yes, this person did something shitty to me, but is it because I deserved it? Is it because they really truly wanted just to specifically hurt me? No, it could be that they were having a bad day and they accidentally lashed out on you. It could be that they were traumatized or, had a bad habit, or they're a shitty person, but you just happened to be that person that had to be shit on. And it's not an actual personal reflection onto you. Like someone insults you and you're like, oh, then I must be ugly. No, that person could just be insecure. That person could just be reflecting. There's so many things. And, finding balance on actually taking constructive criticism, actually feeling your emotions, and holding people accountable for their actions, while still remembering that, again, not everything is as personal as it feels, is a very difficult balance. And only you can really figure out what it feels like and what is correct. And every single situation is different. It's not going to just fit into one box. So having that, again, in moderation, I think is a huge help for me. But also just when life gets really heavy, or when shit just keeps going wrong, like when you have one of those bad days where your keys got stuck and your foot got jammed and everything just feels like everything's attacking you, or you're in a traffic jam. This is one of my favorite analogies. You're in a traffic jam. You're stuck. You might be late for work. The world is, it's not, everyone else is also stuck in this traffic. Everyone else is also late for work. So it's not just a personal attack to you. It's just life. And either you can make that feel very lonely. You could kind of feel like it's, you're being ignored and shoved down or being quietened, or your emotions are not being heard. Or you can feel that it makes everyone kind of feel like you're in it together and that you're not alone, because it's not just you being attacked by the world. Everybody's being attacked. We're all getting doomed, or, everything's happening, but it's not because I deserve it. It's just life. And then the third one is kind of a saying, but it leads into something more, which is repeat or change. And this sentence is what got me out of my worst depression I've ever been in my life. Repeat or change is basically plain and simple as it gets. Either you're going to repeat your action, your situation, your thought process, your feelings, or you're going to change it. That's all you got. And when I was in my deepest depression, or like physically in a lot of pain, I had to look at myself. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm sitting here, I'm pissed off, I'm in pain. Either I can wake up again tomorrow and sit here in pain and then do it over and over again, or change something, change a different perspective, change, the sleep position, change the way, my day goes. And just kind of reminding yourself that, like, this feels like shit. Am I just going to keep saying that it feels like shit? Or am I going to do something? And doing something could make it feel worse. It could make it feel better. It could put you into another loop. Who knows? That's all you have. Either you're going to just keep doing it, or you're going to try something new. And I think for me, that was a huge thing, because I felt so stuck. Like, I felt when I was in my really bad place, I didn't think there was anything else I could do. I didn't think there was any perspectives I could have, because I was so head set on being miserable that the idea that I could make a choice to do something different in my day, even just in my hour, that could possibly change the way I was feeling, was absolutely terrifying and uncomfortable. So I would rather just keep sitting there in my own misery than take the chance of feeling worse. But that doesn't actually get you anywhere. You just are just gonna live a horrible life in that case. or just a horrible week, whatever you want to, have the view of. But yeah, no, so everything is temporary, things are not as personal as they feel, and repeat or change. Those are like some of the main basics that I live by every day. And I pretty much tell myself those things every day because I still have the habits of not following those things and going back into like my ego self and just having bad habits and views. And the more mindful you can, we're humans, it's gonna happen, and you can't always be a fucking enlightened and shit. Like, you're a human experience for a reason. So for me, just having those in the back of my head when they can be useful is phenomenal. I asked what's next along this beautiful journey of yours. I don't know why I paused. No idea. That's kind of what I'm trying to figure out here. But like for the short term span, like, a month, this year, whatever, I definitely want to focus on YouTube the most. Hopefully YouTube will kind of eventually become my main source of content expression. So I think just really focusing on this and honing in kind of what I want to do with my channel and how I want to present myself going forward, because I know I want to do, horror movies, of course, but I do still want to have a huge part of the medical field. So trying to find a balance on what aspects of each that I want to kind of put my time and energy to and put forward. So I guess just trial and error at the moment. And they ask, with everything you've gone through, what or who gives you strength, courage, and inspiration? So my family, of course. I think a lot of it does come just from my younger self. So that, but as for like inspiration and like people outside of my circle, there's not a lot of people that I look up to, but I will say, which my brother is gonna hate this because he likes him too, but too bad, is NF. And I've talked to him on my profile a few times, but like, not only his music is absolutely, I probably wouldn't be here without it, but just knowing where he came from and what he did with his voice and how he still presents himself and chooses to present himself despite having a reason to change, but also people wanting him to change, and peer pressure, and not looking like cool or kind of like a peer in that way, because he definitely does things that are not typical in like the rap field or whatever. And I think just seeing that he is true to himself and true to his word and has overcome heavy shit, and using it for good, and watching him grow through his albums, because all of his albums are like a different stage of his growth. He's a huge inspiration for me, not only for his works, but just who he is, who I perceive him to be as a human being. So yeah, absolutely. Nate Ferguson is a huge inspiration for me. And they ask, what are your goals in life? Your life goals. There you go. So far too many, I think. I know, obviously, direct my own horror films. But there are a lot of very obscured ones that I just don't really talk about just because, I don't know, they're very obscured. I would love to create or rebuild, repaint, whatever, redo parks in low budget homes. Preferably the ones I grew up, because I grew up I grew up in the hood. I grew up in a very dark place. Very, very rough childhood, like, very rough. One of my sayings is, which people around me have heard plenty, but is, gunshots are my versions of bird chirping. I used to be so used to being shot at that because like when you're being shot at like through the house, you want to like get to the lowest part of the floor, so like if the bullets come through the wall, it's less likely to hit you. So I would like hear the gunshots outside and I would like wake up and roll to the floor, but it happens so often that I just got used to waking up on the floor, because in my sleep I would hear it and then just automatically roll to the floor. So no, yeah. So going back to my old neighborhoods, I think would be so fun. I know that I want to do a lot for homeless and stuff like that, and I used to watch these videos of like celebrities going to people's houses and either surprising them or giving them money for rent or whatever. And I remember being a kid and watching those on repeat and repeat, and just wishing somebody would show up at my door and like give us food, something like that. Or my trailer. I don't know which one at the time, But it doesn't always happen. So I would love to be able to do that. And growing up, I always wanted to have my own version of like ocean cleanup and stuff, because I'm a huge, I love the sea. I love sea animals. Like, that is a huge thing. I would love to either kind of build my own organization or just do the most I can for fundraisers to help organizations that clean up different areas and reefs and stuff like that, and help population and stuff like that. Just really anything I can do, either in my own hands or just with the money that I hope to accumulate and give back, to just do anything for any ocean, any part. And even if it is just like creeks or small places, those still matter, because there's still life, and those lives in those small areas still matter. So any environmental shit, I hope. Oh, and I want to plant trees so bad. I'm so excited for that. Love to just do as much as I can for hospital people. I would love to, if I get enough money, to like help low income families with medical care for their children, or pay for any surgeries if possible. And a lot of people in my hospitals, there were wonderful foundations that would give us toys or decorate our room or bring us books, and I would love to create something along those lines as well, to bring to kids. But yeah, no, so those are just like some basics, I guess, but there's too much in my brain to get into. So David, I'm pretty sure that's your name, asked, what is your most precious picture? You are asking a film nerd what their most favorite picture is. There's too many. Too many. Like, I have ones with, specific family, and I'm just myself. But like, these are, I'm putting them on the screen. Those are like my main. I really love. I feel like they're very genuine. I feel like they really present me. And my last question, I think, is what to do next. Get a donation thing set up for you, so we can support your dreams, support your horror director career. So I don't exactly know how to answer this one. I really appreciate it. I think it's very sweet. So I have a really difficult relationship with money. Like, I even feel absolutely horrible when my mom has to buy me groceries. So the idea of people giving me even like $1 makes me want to puke. But I do technically, I'm at a really rough stage with it, because I would love, YouTube and community to be my career. But in order to do that, I would have to make YouTube my income. And either that, and I, like, my brain goes, just YouTube pay me, YouTube give me money, from the company. But that, most people also, so like, I think the lives people can get money from, or like subscriptions and stuff like that. And it's a really difficult for me at the moment, because I don't feel like I don't think I've done enough to like be earning stuff like that. I don't feel like I've put out good enough content for it to be worth money. And if people think I do, that's very sweet. I really appreciate it. I'm just definitely very hard on myself. But also just, I hate fucking money. And it's hard because I have to look at it outside of my comfort zone. And like, there are so many social media people that I do really admire, and like Gary Watts and Destry Smith. And if I, had the funds, I would love to buy their merch, or I would love to donate money or help them for something they needed in a heartbeat. And it would bring me genuine joy, because I genuinely care and enjoy watching these people. So, and I assume other people maybe, I guess, could possibly feel the same way about me, maybe in the future. And that is a very uncomfortable feeling. Like even saying like maybe having fans in the future. Ugh, oh my god. I mean, it's sweet. I want it. Like I would love to have a community, but I am just very insecure in those factors, and it's something that I definitely need to work on. I hope to do something like that if people are interested in participating, or it is something that people desire to do themselves with me. So. But yeah, those are the main questions that I've got, and I appreciate it all. And if I have missed any of your questions, I'm so sorry. I would definitely still respond in my comments, if not here. I just, again, I appreciate all the support and really awesome questions. I hope my rambling made any sense to you people, because half the time I don't know what the hell comes out of my mouth, but it does. No, and I'm really excited. I know I already have a couple other videos planned, but yeah, thank you so much for listening and watching. Bye!